Those of you who have children, do you recall when you first tried to encourage them to take their first step? At the beginning, your child may have been content to drag him or herself along the floor, reaching out for things. But it was time for him or her to take a stand, to walk. All kinds of attempts were made to entice them to come into your arms, and then it happened. All this came to mind when I read the gospel story today that described how Jesus came walking across the water to Peter and the other disciples who had been fishing, and their boat was being tossed by a storm. They thought they saw a ghost, but it was Jesus coming toward them, and he spoke, "Have courage, it is I." And Jesus invited Peter to come towards him on the water. But Peter became frightened and began to sink and cried out, "Lord, save me." Many of us know quite a bit about Peter's character. His denial 3 times of Jesus, his subsequent leadership that we saw evidenced in the Acts of the Apostles, his designation by Christ as the one upon whom Jesus would build his church. He was a man of passion and weakness, something that many of us have in common with Peter. Like Peter, our faith can also be described as fragile, impoverished, anxious, and victorious. When Peter kept his eyes on Jesus, he was strong. We too can learn from Peter and his exchange with Jesus today in the gospel. Like Peter in today's gospel, we're strong when we keep our eyes on him. But the opposite is also true. When we look away, get distracted, or think too much, we need to hear Jesus say, "Come, have faith, do not be afraid." In a reflection that he wrote, Dr. Terence Callan said that Pope Francis sees the boat as an excellent image of our Catholic Church. We're all in this boat together, a boat which offers us security despite stormy times, our limitations, or our weaknesses. And like Peter, we are people with enthusiasm for the faith and Jesus, yet we have our moments that our faith appears to be weak, and we know ourselves to be capable of sin. But you see, God sees our hearts. He saw the heart of Peter, the heart of a leader, a believer, a person who cared and had compassion for others, and yes, he gave his life for others. If at times we still find ourselves taking baby steps in our pursuit of Jesus and his kingdom, well, have courage. Jesus will be there with outstretched arms, ready to embrace us and also pick us up should we fall.